As I mentioned in my previous video about the dash cover, I am changing the look of my interior. Here you can see that after a year, the black brushed metallic vinyl wrap is still in decent shape, just a few scratches here and there. I'm going with a carbon fiber overlay that is roughly 2 millimeters thick. This is somewhere in between a solid ABS plastic cover like my dash cap and the thickness of a vinyl wrap. You can see here that it is like a giant thick sticker. The back is covered with 3M adhesive. They say it is real carbon fiber, but I can't really tell. This diagram shows the outer shell is 2 millimeters resin, followed by 0.01 millimeters coating, then a 0.2 millimeter carbon fiber layer, and then finally another 0.01 millimeter coating. And on the bottom is double-sided tape. Many of the photos on these eBay items show that the carbon fiber lines are pointing in different directions. Luckily mine had all three pieces with the carbon fiber pattern going from the upper left side down to the lower right side. Here I am placing the pieces on the console for a rough fit. They come with a protective plastic that needs to be removed before installation. The eBay item I purchased didn't look exactly like the auction listing. It has a cutout area that allows the Tesla keycard to function. Real carbon fiber will block the card's RFID signal. They supplied a vinyl wrap to cover this area. I slowly peel off the old vinyl wrap. Underneath, the plastic is in great condition. I just had to clean it up a little bit around the edges. If you're installing on your existing piano black plastic, make sure it's clean before you install. And you can see that the top trapezoid shaped piece is longer on the top and shorter on the bottom. Looking closely, I can see that the measurements are spot on. It goes from edge to edge across the whole surface. Peel off an inch or two of the backing paper. Now what you want to do is align this piece to the bottom of this panel. Once it is aligned across the bottom, check to make sure that the left and right sides go all the way to the edges. The piece is fairly stiff and it will not wrinkle or crease like vinyl wrap does. If you make a mistake, you can slowly peel it back and realign it correctly. Remove the rest of the backing paper. Once it's positioned the way that you like, I used a microfiber cloth and pressed firmly along the whole surface, especially along the edges, to make sure the adhesion is secure. Next, I will attach the carbon fiber piece to the center door. Remove the protective plastic. This piece is a little more difficult to determine the top from the bottom. The easiest way is to look at the carbon fiber pattern and make sure it matches the piece directly above it. It should be, as in mine, going from the top left down to the bottom right. Go ahead and place it on for a quick test fit to make sure it's covering the whole door. As with the last section, I remove the old brushed metal vinyl wrap. Wipe off any remnants of adhesive from the vinyl. Remove the backing paper. I found starting at the top edge works the best. You can open the door slightly to see how well it is aligned. Once you have it where you like it, Press down fully to make sure it adheres well to the surface. The microfiber cloth makes it easier to smooth out the surface without getting any resistance or smudges. Now I'm removing the last section of the old vinyl wrap. For some odd reason, the protective plastic on this piece was insanely time-consuming to remove. But in the end, it worked out. It looks good for the rough fitting. The cup holder section was the trickiest to install. You want to align the opening to have equal amounts of the trim plastic in the cup holder section showing. If you align it too close to the top, it doesn't come out even. I had to start it a little bit lower so it covered the openings correctly. Slowly pull the backing paper off as you install the piece. It also helps to have the center door open so you get the edge better. After you get the first part of this section started, you can remove the rest of the backing paper. The part of the plastic around the outside of the cup holders is very thin, so just be careful when you're placing it down, not to stretch it. I apologize for my body blocking parts of the video. I should have had a second camera set up for close-ups. Make sure the piece surrounds the cup holder opening evenly around it. I had to adjust this once just to make sure. Now go over the entire area with the microfiber cloth, and especially the edges. Lastly, there is a gap where the key card will fit. So you need to cover this. They supply a vinyl wrap piece that will fit over this area. It doesn't seem to cover it 100%. There's a little bit of a gap showing around the edges. Carefully install it so it covers the center of this area. I had to pick it up and reapply it a couple times before I was happy with it. One of my suggestions to make this a better product would be to include the real carbon fiber resin piece that would fit in this location so that if you didn't want to use the key card, you'd have that option. After applying it, remove the protective plastic cover. Now here's a close-up of the completed installation. Most of the time the armrest is closed and you don't even notice this area being different from the rest. I'm impressed with the results. It has a nice deep 3D look to it. I've also received a few compliments on how it looks like the car came with it that way. These epoxy resin stickers are much easier to install than vinyl wrap. They also take a lot less time, and they also cover any imperfections on the surface, be that scratches or even wrinkles in the vinyl. I also want to mention that there are ABS plastic kits with the same carbon fiber look as my dash cover that are available. These install with double-sided tape that you press down over the existing plastic doors and cup holder areas. Here's another view during the night. It does look a little different in the dark. One other improvement I would suggest is the very top of the first piece. There's an area of black plastic that could also be covered. It's only about a ½ inch high that goes across. It's not really that noticeable, and only when you lean over is it obvious. See the links in the video description for this carbon fiber kit. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.